That's a big problem because the people on Wall Street, you're dealing with bloodline folks that are used to having their way in a bunch of scandals and vultures and ruthless vipers. And see, anybody that goes in to try to deal with them scorpions usually wind up getting what? Stung. And I'm going to give you a good example of what I'm talking about. The governor of New York, I forget the name, the governor of New York, Switzerland, I think, whatever it is, the governor of New York. Well, what happened was, now listen, he was seeing those prostitutes all the time. Spitzing. He was seeing them prostitutes all the time. He'd go in and visit these high-class prostitutes. Now, everybody in circles knew that. Now, when Wall Street started getting wild, he said, you know what, I'm the sheriff in town. I'm going to go down and put some order into this. They said, all right. He got to what? He got to go. So they dropped a dime on him and had these products. And the next thing you know, he had to resign. And had a black man who's blind became the governor of the state. Now listen, folks. Folks don't understand what we face. And the best thing I would advise most Americans to do right now is to get as much educated as you possibly to understand what is happening in this country and where this country is going. You need to start reading, cut the TV off. Here's a book called Rule by. Go somewhere and try to understand something. See, and then first of all, start stocking up on food, canned foods and stuff. It sounds like I'm talking about a survivalist, but listen, the government cannot continue to pay money to us that's going to worth anything for our social services. I'm talking about Social Security checks, your unemployment checks. These things are going to be given to you. The money that they're creating is out of nothing, folks. So it's going to buy less and less. So you're going to have the canned food. You're going to have to be able to have some gold and silver. We told you 5 years ago to get that stuff. Right. But see, now we're in the mix. Leaders getting ready to change. They're coming in the House the 20th of this year. Of next year, 2009, and we're saying to you, you haven't seen hell unleashed in an economy and what it does.
Dr. Warren, how high do you think unemployment will go? How high will it rise?
Okay, let me say this. Now listen, let me tell you what they did. This past Friday, they released the figures for last month. They were supposed to release that but they said at Halloween, but they didn't want to do it before the what? Election, because they knew no Republican could. With those figures, they expected 200,000 unemployed for October. It came out 240. We've already lost 1.2 million jobs already. And we'll probably end up about 1.4, 1.5 million. Next year, minimum, 1.5 to 2 million jobs. Minimum. And listen, they got to do something with General Motors because General Motors go bankrupt. I mean, the whole thing falls in.
1 million jobs.
1 million jobs is gone. Yeah. So they got to bail that out. And see, the point is, nobody can buy any cars now. My point to you is that, listen, unemployment's going to go up. And listen, let me tell you this. Wall Street is already, they got blood on Houston, Hudson River. Yeah. 200,000 to 300,000 bankers, investment bankers, brokers, traders, whatever you said, they done lost their job. It's going to be all formulated. As of now, you got 3 banks. J.P. Morgan, Citibank, and I forget what it's called. I think the other one.
Bank of America? Bank of America?
Bank of America, J.P. Morgan.
Chase Manhattan?
No, it's one of us, a third bank. They're the 3 largest banks that have been formed. And basically what they're going to do, all these banks are going to be consolidated, folks. So my point to you is that this whole country is going to be reformulated, and we're moving into a new order. And you're going to have to understand where we're going and how to prepare for this.
So we have to become accustomed being poor?
Well, I'll say this, the living standard of the average American, I don't care whether, listen, retail sales came in from Neiman's Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, and what's the other one? Bloomingdale. Well, anyway, the top 3 stores at the upper class of the shop, they were down 25 or 30%. American Express laid off, 7,000 folks, and they're having a problem with late payment. Now, these are supposed to be some of the people in the upper income. Now, if they cutting back, now you can expect it. The only place that made an upsale was Walmart. It was up 2.4%. Car sales are down. This thing is going to get further and further crazy, so Obama's going to have more and more programs like they're going to pull out the WPA, right? FDR type programs.
But would that stop just outright anarchy?
No, I wouldn't say this. I think what would happen if they get a good war started, like they do Vietnam.
A good war.
A good war. What they're going to do is, I tell you this, all the people, most Americans If your grandsons and your children, if you got any money, you better send them down to Mexico and South America, because anybody going to Canada, they're going to export you back to America.
Will they have a draft, though?
That's the point. There will be a draft.
You think it'll be a draft?
Obama already said some form of a draft. That's coming. Listen, they got to get some of these young folks off the street and then get them somewhere, but there will be a draft of some form. Because first of all, for what they want to do, the volunteer army won't work. And then it helps thin out the herd of some of the young bucks in the service for social problems.
So all those young people who back Barack Obama, they're going to be disillusioned.
They're going to be very disillusioned. I mean, it's the point, like I said, he doesn't pick his own cabinet, folks. See, he gets one or two choices, and they say, well, listen, here's 5 choices, 3 choices for Secretary of State. What choices? And they pick all 3 of them. What choices do you have? You don't have none. You better not pick outside of that. So then that's the point that you have. You know, there's very little wiggle room.
So you said, I know we got to tap into the Holy Spirit, but we got to go beyond just praying, right?
Well, listen, the power that you have within you is going to guide you through this chaos to keep you sane and from snapping, and to provide a way or to give you instruction where you should go or what you should do about this or that. That's what the Spirit is for. Because you're going to find out your political leaders, your religious leaders, they don't have a clue, and they're going to be told what to do.
So what about, you know, I think they said divorces are, people not getting divorced.
No.
People ain't buying cars.
Well,
So, what I'm saying, we got to circle the wagons and huddle together and start eating beans and rice, right?
Well, what happened? They read a show that was a little article that I read in the paper and also on the radio. They said that 2 people, they're not getting divorced. They live in the house separated, but yet they can't, neither one of them can live what? Separate. Because so they all stay in the house. She lives upstairs and he lives in the basement. See, 2 separate beds, you understand? But see, they divorced as far as the mind, but they can't separate economically. It costs too much. They can't sell the house. So this is the impact of what you have when you have economic chaos that was deliberately caused by Wall Street. Now listen, they didn't wreck a bank. They didn't wreck banks. They wrecked the whole world system. The whole system, the whole financial system throughout the world was wrecked as a result of Wall Street selling these phony bonds.
I gotta get in the screen. You know, people. This is an international audience. You know, let me come over here. You gotta get in there. We don't have a cameraman here. Now we can walk to Barack Obama's house.
Right.
You game. Let's go over there. We all can walk over to Barack Obama's house and help Obama.
But listen, you got
He's right down the street.
You got a bunch of Secret Services over there.
But you Dr. Wong.
No,
I'm Mars.
Yeah. What does that mean? That's bloodline.
But I want to take the camera over there because people need to see this because his house is it's literally about less than a mile, right?
Yeah, less than about 6 blocks.
6 blocks, and you go over there. I go by the house all the time on 51st Street, and now you can't go by the house. Fighter jets are flying around. I didn't really think he became president until I went by the house. You should go over there. But if you could,
and helicopters, don't forget that.
And so if you could go over there, could you help? Could you really help Barack?
Well, only thing we can do for the brothers is pray for them. I don't have any power myself to walk in because I'm not one of the inner circle people that have the ability to walk through doors and drop names where people instantly, like David Rockefeller or certain people, or certain people who drop names, doors open and nobody argues with you. Now, I'm not part of that crowd, and in fact, I don't want to be part of that crowd.
Why don't you pray for me and all the folks here and everybody at home, because you scaring me, Dr. Warren.
Well, all I can say that right within us, you have the power of the Holy Spirit or God right within you, and that will direct you. In this, we're dealing with a great spiritual fight. See, some people don't believe in evil, and people are going to find out during these 3 or 4 years what evil is. And you won't need a Bible, you won't need a Quran or Bhagavad Gita. You're going to find out right in your face what evil is and what callousness and insensitivity is. And all I can do is pray that Obama has the courage to be directed, to be guided by inner light. And weigh his advisors' advice very carefully, because he is in a situation that's similar to JFK, and we ask the Father to direct him in these situations, and all we can do is say through his Son Yahshua Messiah, let him have peace in that whole situation, because I'm gonna tell you, the man is gonna age quickly in these type of crises. If you don't believe, all you gotta do is look at Bush and Clinton.
Yeah.